Hey everyone, what's going on? Jack Dunlop here, filling in for Chris Puckett on the eSports Report. Chris is away this week traveling, getting a little vacation time in before the hectic Season 3 begins, starting with the draft on Friday. Now, this week we've been looking at the Season 3 play-in teams that placed top 4 in the open bracket at MLG Anaheim. Now, these teams had to push through a 192-team open bracket filled with a ton of talent and were able to get those crucial top 4 placements to earn their way into Season 3. So, without further ado, let's take a look at these 4 teams and the rest of the order of the picks for this Friday in the draft. You'll see Team Justice, Elevate, Rise Nation, and Optic Nation all placed in the top 4 to get into the open out of the open bracket to get into Season 3. Now, this is big news because some of these teams we'd never seen before. Some unfamiliar faces like Elevate, Rise Nation, you may not know who these teams are, so we wanted to cover them. Justice was in Season 2, and Optic Nation is a household name because they're part of that Optic gaming lineup. Now, there's 2 special situations in this draft, so I wanted to make another quick thing to bring you guys up to speed. We have the conventional picks, so I wanted to briefly explain them and what they are. As you can see on that graphic, we have Rise Nation and Blev Dogs teams are in a special situation where they may get conventional picks unless they can pick up somebody in the next 15 minutes when the roster's locked. So, as you can see there, Rise Nation will get a conditional pick because they have fewer than 4 players on the roster. Blev Dogs team, which doesn't have a name yet, has fewer than 3 players on the roster. So now you may be wondering, where do these conditional picks occur? Well, they'll happen at the start of round 1. Each team will get 1 pick. Since Rise Nation has 3 players now, they'll get that 4th player there, and they'll be set for the draft. Now, Blev Dogs team, 2 players have been announced. They'll pick their 3rd player at the start of round 1, and since they still need a 2nd player, they'll pick that 2nd player at the end of round 4 if needed. So that will fill out the rest of their lineups. So, the pick orders will still be the complete same thing that you just saw on that other graphic, but those small changes will happen. I know there was a lot of talk about that today. Gandhi made a video. We wanted to just make sure that got cleared up of when those teams would be picking. So, now we see where these teams stand. Let's go into our 3rd team of the week, Rise Nation. Now, this squad had an exceptional MLG Anaheim with some players on their team really doing well. Let's take a look at the roster card to see who's on this lineup right now. You'll see we have Wheats over there. He had a dominant MLG Anaheim. You will see that in the gameplays we chose here today. Looney being on that squad wound up having an accident on Sunday night at MLG Anaheim, falling and breaking his hand in a foot race, but he said he'll be good to go for this upcoming Season 3. Pac-Man, their 3rd player, had another solid event at MLG Anaheim, was a crucial reason why they were able to clinch that top 4 spot. But as you can see, no 4th player now after the team decided to drop Saint, who now goes by the name Baroska, his last name. But there were some rumors flying around on why they did it, but as of now, they are a team of 3 looking to get a 4th. So that is why they have that conditional pick for the draft on Friday. So, I want to go into seeing how this team performed at MLG Anaheim. Maybe from these plays we could see, or games we could see why they decided to drop Saint. Maybe they just had a different reason that didn't get surfaced. But let's see how their road at MLG Anaheim went. In round 1, they wound up having to face a tough team in Obscure Gaming that already went to round 3, so they had no easy run there. But they went to game 3, they wound up winning that to move on in the winner's bracket. Then they took their next match with ease and then took a close series against TIC Gaming. So they had a tough start right there. But then they got into the real tough matches. Already in winners round 5, they had to go up against Team Lightning Pandas, who are one of the fan favorites out there in the open bracket. I want to go into game 1, the domination game, to see how this team performed against such a strong team in Lightning Pandas. Let's take a look.
You have a few decisions to make, but I always think that the right decision would be to rotate back and try to push through Broken. I never really want to, I never really like pushing through Dino, or even through Pawn could be a bit risky at times. I feel like Broken that's going to help you the most when you're trying to go for the B flag because you got that Jeep to use as cover.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one of the better head glitches on this particular map. And just looking across the KDs right now, Pac-Man's on a tear, 15-7. Wheats +8 at 12-4. They are really just out slaying and apparently shooting bodies already as well of the members of Lightning Pandas.
Yeah, you got to show him some love. And I was talking about Pac-Man at the beginning of the game, what he's going to do in this map. And he's been doing exactly that. So annoying. Like, you always got to clear out broken. You always got to clear out gas. You always got to clear out bottom pawn. And it's so much to worry. Finally, somebody from Lightning Pandas is going to do something on the map. It's going to be Shane trying to capture A, but players from Rise are already there to clean him up.
Yeah, I mean, he made the smart play there, not actually going to take it over. Tried to just work the neutral and then pick up that kill, but unfortunately he was outshot. And Pac-Man there had the world in front of him. There were a couple of members in gas. Looks like they're rotating out around pond side. He should be able to pick up this kill. He will get one and now can apply pressure to C. And by being in this position, he's forced them to spawn out opposite the broken side here, but he's about to get pushed from his left.
Yeah, he's probably going to die here, but it doesn't matter. Only 10 seconds remaining on the first side, of course, and they're going to have a massive lead.
We'll stay on here with Benny as he's going to be on the head glitch trying to hold B for his squad.
Yeah, just did some quick math. I'm pretty sure they could hold this 2-cap for the rest of the game, and I'm pretty sure they'll win. But we'll see if that happens because
they have the
2 minutes, 15 seconds, that's kind of a long time.
Yeah, I think it's 36 over 2 minutes, so they should be more than okay if they can hold this. But obviously, they haven't really throughout this game been able to hold a 2-cap for any significant length of time. And you'll see there was a player who was that Pac-Man again who was pushing their home cap. He was able to neutral it, so Benny's got to rotate back and retake the flag. But I think they'll be all right. They've just got to do what they haven't really done throughout this game for the first 8 minutes.
That right there, that's a desperation play from Saints. He's saying, all right, guys, we got to do something because what we're doing now clearly not working. A flag going to get neutralized. Let's see if Benny Central could hit this shot now. I've seen players go top broken, and there's like a little crack that you could shoot through to try to get him off C flag. I think that's a pretty innovative spot. But let's move over to Wheats is tearing it up right now. He's 26-12 as his team's lead. It was 50. Now it's down to 22.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying, man. This is the one map where you'll see these huge swings. I mean, if you hadn't watched much of this particular game type, you would have thought this was all said and done for Lightning Pandas, but they've had...
Well, if it was any other map and you have a 50-point lead,
oh, yeah, exactly. This is one of the few where you can actually pull this off. And right now, they're back to that 2-cap. 70 seconds left to go. They're down 19. At this point, I think they would have to push a 3-cap.
So with a minute, if you're holding 2 and they're holding 1, in a minute, you'll gain plus 12 points on them.
Yes, so they are going to have to at least push a 3-cap, and that is what they're doing right now. The 3-cap is back on. The second different 3-cap of this particular side here for Lightning Pandas.
Big play from Pac-Man, winning that one-on-one gunfight on B flag, but I think that 3-cap, that's going to give them enough points just to hold 2 for the main game. In fact, that's going to get neutralized, so still, Rise, they're not getting any points right now. Moving on to Looney, they will be able to capture A, but 6 points separating both these teams. It's going to be up to Lightning Pandas. They're going to have to capture a flag. Looney on B flag. He's going to get taken out from behind. Moving over to Benny Central, trying to give his teammate cover. It's going to be Fearkrats halfway. Is he going to be able to... Oh, that was a huge win from Fearkrats. 20 seconds remaining, 7 points separating these teams. Oh, man, it's going to come down to the wire here, Maven.
Yeah, no, this is nuts. 15 seconds left. Krads was able to pick up some big kills there on B. Benny Central picked up 2 as well. We have now 3 down. Quicker's going to be the last one alive here for Lightning Pandas, and they are down 4. Not enough time left to make it happen. What a valiant effort out of Lightning Pandas, but just fell a little bit short.
Yeah, you got to give him props for the fight right there. Only losing by 3 points. They're down by, what was it, like 52, 54?
Yeah, I know it. The last time I remember looking at it was right around 50. And yeah, you know, I said that this is where you'll have those swings on this map, and they really did an excellent job. And I thought when Krads got that 1 kill there and his teammates helped him push out at B-Dom, they'd cap that and be able to bring it in, but just not, they needed like what, another tick or 2. 5-10 seconds, they would have been good.
Now that game got way too close for Rise Nation there. They went into the half with almost a 52-point lead. Pac-Man was like positive 13. They were going huge. But then this other squad, Lightning Panda, starts making some clutch plays. They kind of cool down Rise Nation, and it winds up only being a 3-point victory. But they were able to hold it out. Wheats was huge that game. As I mentioned before, this guy had a massive MLG Anaheim. He dropped a 30-17 score to make sure that that comeback did not happen. Would have been one of the biggest comebacks of MLG Anaheim. But then they moved on to Game 2, and in Search and Destroy, Krad's 13-8 performance was not enough to give Lightning Pandas the win and to tie up the series 1-1. Wheats drops a 12-7 in S&D to make sure that they can close out the series. really being the MVP of that series there against Lightning Pandas, knocking them into the losers bracket. Remember, the open bracket was all best of threes, so it was just one game swing could really just change everything. So Rise's road did not get any easier, though. Taking down Lightning Pandas, you think, okay, maybe they get a little bit of a break. Not at all. Their next matchup was against Vex Gaming, one of the teams that played in Season 2 but didn't qualify for the championship bracket, that had to prove that they were going to re-earn their spot for Season 3. So Vex Gaming was coming out with a vengeance. I know that there was some trash talk going on between them and Curse Black that weekend because of some comments made by a couple players. So they had to prove a lot because a lot of eyes were on them in this open bracket. A lot of analyzers thought that they were going to be automatically in the top 4. They were the number 1 seed of this open bracket. So I say we look at the first game of this series between Rise Nation and Vex Gaming. Let's see how this game went.
In a sense, as we're going to go ahead and split things up. Saint will go ahead and gather A, which means Rise has got that AC split. Losing C, and there's actually a player defending. He will drop. I believe that was Looney. And Slack there to cleaning him up. Pac-Man gonna go for the C contest. It's already neutral. He will pick up Slack, throw down that trophy, and try to regather it to keep 2 flags to their name.
So A and C control, this is really, it's viable, sure, but it's very tough to do. The A and C flag, of course, so far spread out. Pac-Man, he's a lone wolf right now. He's got one more player to take out over near the C flag, and I like his movement right here. I think he was spotted. We'll meet up with Slack right there. 3 go down for Rise Nation. Nade coming out from Wheats. Will it connect? They're also losing the A flag. That's important to note. Nade does get a hit marker, but there is another player after this guy who capped C flag.
You said it, the AC split is risky, and it's generally not used to just hold those 2 flags. It's just a maneuver.
Yeah, just to draw them out of position.
Draw them back so you can gather that B flag. On a map like this, strike zone, AC split is not the most uncommon thing in the world at all, but that's a different map, different strategy. On this map, you just want to kind of keep middle of control. Right now, it is Vex Gaming that's doing such a great job executing, and they're going to run it to the second side with a nice, comfortable lead.
Yeah, they're up by 29 points right now. Now it's going to be 30 points, so they're going to be, what is it, like a 31-point lead?
Yeah.
But however, we saw a 50-point lead. I was casting with Maven for that game. A 50-point lead is Rise Nation against Lightning Pandas. Rise Nation had like a 54-point lead going into the half. And they're going right for this A-cap, man. Look at the spawns coming in from Vex Gaming.
Now, Rise Nation went down in the half there by 31, but because of an amazing performance by Saint in the second half, they were able to come back and take that win from the opponent Vex Gaming. So they went up 1-0 in that series, and then they went on to push into Sovereign S&D, in which they were able to take that map with a 6-2 score, knocking out Vex Gaming in a 2-0 series, going huge to take out that team, one of their toughest opponents, definitely, of this weekend. Wheats, once again, went 11-5 to really make sure that his team could shut the door on the opponents. So, Rise Nation getting through some huge opponents. They stumbled a little bit in the beginning, going to some best of 3s, going to Game 3, but they were able to really get back on track and start dominating this open bracket. So, when we come back, we're going to keep breaking down the Rise Nation run through the open bracket and check out some gameplay of them securing their spot in Season 3. Send me your tweets. Tell me how you think how they're going to do in Season 3. This Rise squad still has to pick up their 4th. I'll be checking out your tweets here on the Microsoft Surface Pro. This thing is clutch with checking tweets during the commercial break. So send them at me at AYY_courage on Twitter, and I'll be sure to share some of my favorites. So when we come back, more Rise Nation gameplay. Don't go anywhere.
Now what's your vision? Initiate your shading, blend the universe together in time. It only gets a little easier. Suddenly piece yourself back together now. What's your vision?